right, Shalom. As always, I'm thankful and I'm grateful to be able to come out here once again to preach and to prophesy unto my people, being you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And according to the Holy Bible, you are the biblical Israelites. This is based off of your father's genetic line. It's about agnet and paternal relations that determines whether or not you go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I also come out here to preach and to prophesy unto you other nations to let you know your future and your judgment as well. And as always, before I get started with my lesson, I have to give all thanks and praises unto our power, the power of Israel, not the power of any other nation. And what is his name? Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kodash. Peace, blessings, much respect to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, on down to the rest of the elders who rule well within Israel. Salutations to the hopeful elect throughout the four corners of this whole entire earth, no matter where, whom they may be, or what they may look like, pushing out this purified truth to the rest of the church who believe as well. You men who may not be teachers or prophets, you women, sons and daughters also. And the water to Yahweh Shai, because without him enduring and going to that cross for the nation of Israel and the nation of Israel alone, none of this would even be possible whatsoever. All right? And just as I said to you women and you daughters as well, because you are not outcasted for salvation if you are set up from the foundation of the earth to repent and turn back and to be known as the elect lady. All right, let's go to Matthew chapter 26 and verse 13. Now when Yahweh Shai was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. When Yahweh Shai understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. So we have the poor always with us. Just like the brothers you see teaching on these videos, they're here. Brothers are present. But Yahweh Shai is not present with us. All right? For in that time she hath poured this ointment on my body. She did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this, that this woman hath done, be told for a memorial of her. So I read this as memorial as Mary, or of Mary, excuse me, a memorial of Mary. Now guess what? There are a lot of women on earth today. In fact, women outnumber men. So much that if every woman was to have a man, there would be leftovers. They would have to share. But out of all these women, the majority of them are not going to make it. But there are certain women who the Lord is going to find favor upon. Because you look at these women of today, for the most part, these women are destroyed. But I brought out this scripture because Yahweh Shai wants us to remember what Mary did to him. She poured out that ointment upon him, which the disciples did not do. And she did it for his burial. She didn't do it to waste the ointment. She didn't do it to be disrespectful. She did it with good intent. Good intent so much that Yahweh Shai told us to not forget this woman. Because it's acts like that that will cause you women to be saved and delivered and to be found favored in the eyes of the Lord. Okay? So we can't forget about what she did and let that be an example. Let's go to 2 John chapter 1 and verse 1. The elder unto the elect lady and her children, whom I love in the truth, and not I only, but also all they that have known the truth. So to all you women who know the truth, you have a sense of understanding, you agree with this doctrine, you could possibly be one of the elect ladies. You could possibly be one of the women who are going to be separated from the rest of these whores. All right? Because you know most women around you, they're not right. They're totally negative. They're totally bugged out. You listen to their life stories. You listen to their drama. As a woman who's trying to do the right thing, you need to get away from her. All right? Because truth be told, you can't be associated with the same people that you once were when you were that old woman. All right? The elder unto the elect lady and her children, whom I love in the truth, and not I only, but also all they that have known the truth. So this is about the church. Yeah, it starts with the men, but this is about all the church. We're supposed to love each other. And we love each other based off of truth. And we love those based off of them having the truth. All right? So you women out there, don't think that this has nothing to do with you. Nevertheless, it's about the man first. And seeing this whole world was set up for your pleasure, this whole world was set up to be unto your servitude. You know, everything is at your reach. Everything is about you. Men have to spend more money to buy shoes. Men have to spend more money for their clothing. Men don't have as much variety to choose from as women do. You know, this world was really set up for your comfort. So for those of you women who separate yourself, that has to make you very special, seeing that this world makes it easy for you to be evil. It makes it easy for you to do the wrong thing. All right? Let's go back. I'll just read this again. The elder unto the elect lady and her children, whom I love in the truth, and not I only, but also all they that have known the truth. And truth be told, what was the woman created for? What is her purpose? According to truth, Genesis chapter 3 and 16, unto the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow, and thy conception in sorrow. Thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. So basically, your husband is supposed to be your priority. You're supposed to be his number one fan, so to speak. You're supposed to submit to him. But a lot of women today, they feel like, well, I don't have to submit to a man who's making less than me. I don't have to submit to a man who I just don't feel anymore. The thrill is gone. The spark isn't there no more. But that's not what the scriptures say. All right? And your husband has nothing to do with you going to Esau and telling Esau, I do, and then now you're married in the eyes of the government. Marriage is based off of a man and a woman coming together through sex. All right? So a lot of you women, you've had 20 husbands, 30 husbands, 50 husbands, 100 husbands. All right? Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow, and thy conception in sorrow. Thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. So basically, your desire, your whole purpose of being here is to really support your husband. Be about your man. Raise your children. All right? Be submissive. First Samuel's. And the reason why a lot of women, they have a problem with that is because they don't have the truth. They're not the elect lady. They don't have the understanding. Like Abigail, she was known as a woman of understanding. First Samuel's 25:3. Now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife Abigail. And she was a woman of good understanding and of a beautiful countenance. But the man was churlish and evil in his doings, and he was of the house of Caleb. So Nabal, he was a niggard. But at this time, his wife was Abigail. Nabal was such a niggard that he insulted King David to the point that King David and his men wanted to pick up swords and go put him and everything around him to death. But it was through Abigail, basically calming the storm down, so to speak, that David didn't go put him to death. He didn't have to because the Lord ended up killing him. Okay? But the point is this. Abigail was known as a woman of understanding. And that's why eventually she ended up becoming King David's wife after Nabal got put to death by the Lord. All right? So some women understand. Some women know they're supposed to be submissive. Some women know their duty. But a lot of women don't know their place. Now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife Abigail. And she was a woman of good understanding and of a beautiful countenance. So that goes to show you there's going to be women who believe in this ministry, very beautiful women, who aren't out here being whores, man. Who aren't out here being passed around, but who are following the ways of the Lord to the best of their ability, being submissive to their husband. All right? A lot of men may say their woman's a demon and she's doing this and that. Maybe that's a reflection on you, because not every man in this ministry has a wife who's just jumping up and down causing a scene. All right? The scriptures tell you that a wicked woman was given to a wicked man. All right? For the most part, yeah, none of these women are righteous. None of us are righteous. But there are certain women that are more tolerable than others. All right? Let's go to the Apocrypha. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 26 and verse 13. The grace of a wife delighteth her husband, and her discretion will fatten his bones. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. So a woman that takes instruction is a woman of understanding. A woman that don't take instruction is a wicked woman. She's a witch. She's not somebody that you should want to deal with. All right? You should want a woman who's willing to be a woman, who's willing to be humble, who's willing to be submissive. All right? Who's willing to uplift you, not hold you down. You'll have women say, I'm looking for a man who's willing to let me hold him down and this and that. No, you need to uplift your man. You've held us down long enough. Right along with gravity, right along with these earthly bodies, right along with Esau and the rest of the heathen. You've held us down long enough. It's time for you to fulfill your purpose. For a lot of you women, but for those of you who are, keep going. All right? A silent and loving woman, not a brawling woman, is a gift of the Lord. And there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. So a woman that can listen, a woman that can shut up, a woman that can submit, a woman that can be feminine, that's a real woman. A woman who wants to please her husband. All right? But a lot of women, they don't understand that today because Babylon has really destroyed them. 2nd Ezra chapter 14 and verse 13. Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. Let go from thee mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature. And the woman is the weaker vessel. So you women, you really have to learn how to cast aside your chaos. You have to learn how to put off the things that are contrary to the Bible, that are contrary to the truth. If you claim to want to be delivered, you claim to want to be saved, you want protection, well, there are guidelines that you have to live by. You can't come into this making up your own way as a woman. You have to set aside that womanly nature when it comes to things that aren't contributing to your salvation. Let go from the mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature. So being the weaker vessel, you women have to put off that weak nature of being jealous of another woman, that weak nature of letting your chaos get the best of you, always wanting the last word, always babbling, always have an opinion. Okay? You got to set that to the side. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 15. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise. So a foolish woman is wise in her own eyes. She doesn't want to be a good wife. She doesn't want to be submissive. She doesn't want to be delicate and feminine. She wants to be masculine. Or she'll make the excuse that in order for her to be feminine, a man has to have this amount of money. The man has to be this tall. The man has to talk like this or walk like that, which makes no sense. You're supposed to be feminine based off that's what you're supposed to do. Not based off of, well, a man has to bring it out of you. But what that shows is you women are not only the weaker vessel, you're not meant to be the leader. You need a head, because without a head, you are a headless monster. You are a headless chicken, more so. And you'll only run around for so long till eventually you drop dead. Until eventually the day comes that the Lord just judges you. Because a lot of you women, you're too chaotic. You're insane. You make the same decisions, making excuses in your head to why you should have different results. All right? The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise. So a wise woman would listen. A wise woman would know when to shut her mouth. Let's go to Sirach, also known as the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 27 and verse 11. The discourse of a godly man is always with wisdom, but a fool changeth as the moon. So you're a fool if you don't take instruction. And that's why you women also have been given something known as a monthly cycle. The word month comes from the word moon, and a fool changes as the moon. A lot of women are foolish by nature, but it's through the instruction of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai that you get it right, that you get in order. Because there are going to be women who get saved. There are going to be women who receive salvation. But a lot of women are not going to make it because they're too caught up in this world. They're caught up in cosmetics, popularity, social media. But the Lord is going to bring destruction to Babylon. And all these women who put their faith in this world, they're going down with it. Only the elect women are going to make it out of here. The elect ladies. Verse 13. The discourse of fools is irksome, and their sport is the wantonness of sin. And hearing a group of women talk, it irks you, man. It gets under your skin. Because anytime you see a batch of bitches together, They're talking nothing but abominable things, talking filth. They always got to have some sodomite best friend somewhere. They always got to have the loudest voices in the room. We shouldn't hear you. That's not being feminine. Everybody knows what you sound like. Everybody knows your conversation. All right? That's not being feminine. That's more of a masculine trait. That's why we come out here and we exalt our voice, because that's a masculine thing to do. The feminine trait would be the opposite thing to do, which would be, hey, close that mouth. Talk softer. All right? You don't have to try to talk with authority when you speak to a man, because no real man is going to accept it. The discourse of fools is irksome, and their sport is wantonness of sin. Sirach chapter 25 and verse 1. In three things I was beautified, and stood up beautiful both before the power and men, the unity of brethren, the love of neighbors, and a man and a wife that agree together. So a wife that agrees with you, a wife that's all about you, that's a righteous woman. That's an elect lady. A woman that's about your program. A woman that's moving how you move. She's not doing her own thing. She's going off of your vibration. All right? A wife that agrees, that's a gift from the Lord. And certain of us men, we get somewhat of a taste of that now. But we'll really get to experience that in the kingdom. To see all of these women in order, all about you. Because a lot of these women, let's be honest, they claim that they love their man, they claim that they're faithful, but let the right man come around. Okay? In three things I was beautified and stood up, beautiful both before the power and men, the unity of brethren, the love of neighbors, and a wife, and a man and a wife that agree together. That's what it's about. But you women of today, for the majority of you, you don't try to agree with your man. You actually put yourself above your man. Okay? Let's go to 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 11. Let me see. I'm in Titus. This is, I think it's 2 Timothy's. It might be 1 Timothy's. Chapter 2 and verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. So a woman who's silent, a woman who agrees, a woman who's about you, a woman who knows how to follow, that's a good woman. And here it is. See, these women don't even understand, for most of them, we're in World War III right now. And while women are trying to get BBLs, while women are trying to look good for the camera, there are men being military trained for war. We are in the season of warfare. And when war happens, you women are going to be taken as spoiled. So you're going to need a man to protect you in that day. And not just any man, but a righteous man of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay, you having a fat ass and some big titties, that's not going to save you. If anything, that's going to make you more of a target. Not only to be ravished, but to be used as food. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. So a woman who agrees, a woman who knows how to take order, a woman who can submit, that's a sign of an elect lady. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. I've heard 1,000,001 excuses on why this scripture doesn't apply to today. Oh, that was back then. Oh, that was just for that specific church. That wasn't literally talking about, in general. No, that's speaking of in general. You women are not supposed to hold any authority over your husband. You don't hold no authority over any man, because you trying to hold authority over a man and then he ends up beating your ass or putting you to death. Now you done caused the whole situation because of your mouth being the weaker vessel. okay? Not knowing how to take instruction. Let's go to Tobit. This is Tobit chapter 8 and verse 6. Thou madest Adam and gavest him Eve, his wife, for an helper, and stayed. So the woman was created to be a help. Now there's this doctrine in the world that women feel like, see, they should be able to just stay home, collect all the money, do nothing, right? Or they might cook and clean, things that they're supposed to do anyway, while staying at home. But a man can't have another woman. She putting the man on curfew, all right? She looking through the man's phone. She giving the man attitude, but feels like, well, I should be able to stay home and sit on my ass and do nothing. No, woman, you're supposed to be a help unto your man. And in 2024, you women are in the workforce. You don't need to be a stay-at-home woman, a stay-at-home mom, a stay-at-home wife. Hell no. Not in the age of social media, because see, a woman get bored today, then she'll sneak around and commit adultery, which she'll do it either way if that's what she's about. But it's a lot easier when she's idle at home, talking about she's been busy. What have you been doing? The house is already clean. What you mean you're busy? What, you made food? Weren't you gonna eat anyway? Okay? Like, you women really try to make the easy way the only way for you. You want the easy way out. And the Lord's not dealing with that. Thou madest Adam and gavest him Eve, his wife, for an helper. So the woman was given to the man. The man wasn't given to the woman. Y'all belong to the man. Thou madest Adam and gavest him Eve, his wife, for an helper, and stay. Of them came mankind. Thou hast said, it is not good that man should be alone. Let us make unto him an aid like unto himself. But a lot of you women, you're trying to be single. You're trying to focus on a career. You're causing men to be alone, and that wasn't the way in the first place. So really, you're rendering yourselves to be useless for a lot of you women. You feel like you don't need to be a mother. You don't need to produce any children. You don't need to be a good wife. Well, the Lord's not dealing with y'all. The Lord is dealing with you women who are helping out your husband, who are helping your husband to stay motivated, being about his program. Remember, you laid down with him. You got to wear that, all right? Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 36 and verse 22. The beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance, and a man loveth nothing better. See, a man loves a beautiful woman. I love me a beautiful woman. But if a beautiful woman comes with a loud ass mouth, okay, she's unattentive, she's careless, she's reckless, none of that means anything. The beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance, and a man loveth nothing better. If there be kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue, then is not her husband like other men, because not a lot of men have a tender and delicate woman. Not a lot of men have a woman who's submissive. Most men are dealing with fire-breathing dragons and scorpions because they themselves aren't right. They themselves aren't really, and I'm speaking to you Israelite men, a lot of Israelite men aren't really about Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So the Lord is hitting them through their woman. Or every time they get with a woman, something just goes wrong. Nothing ever sticks. Well, guess what? This society is broken. Esau's done a number on our people. And then on top of that, the Lord is also sending wicked women to men who may not be on point. Whether they're men of the Lord or they're not. But to have a woman who's delicate, who's soft-spoken and submissive and about you, that's rare. and that makes you rare amongst other men. All right? But those are the type of women that are going to be saved. A kind woman. If there be kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue, then is not her husband like other men. He that getteth a wife begetteth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. So a woman is a man's possession. A woman was made to be a man's helper and to be a pillar of rest, not a pillar of stress and death. You're supposed to support your man. Just like when you look at your body, your legs are like pillars. It holds up your upper body. You're supposed to hold up your man, seeing that every day is a battle. Your man's on the front line in a spiritual battle, or even if your man's of the world, the fact that, you know, your man, he's dealing with the burdens of this society, seeing that we're all in captivity, okay? You women got to learn how to be supportive to your men. Sirach chapter 25 and verse 23. A wicked woman abatteth the courage, maketh an heavy countenance and a wounded heart. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees. So an unsupportive wife, that weakens a man. That makes a man sad. That puts a man into deep depression. So for women who are giving men a hard time, if that man is in this ministry and you're giving him a hard time, you're definitely going to pay for that. But even if you're given to a wicked man, that doesn't give you license to be wicked. Because just like we have to get in order, we have to do what we have to do to receive salvation. You being the weaker vessel doesn't give you a pass to do what thou wilt and sin against the Lord. A wicked woman abateth the courage and maketh a heavy countenance and a wounded heart. A woman will break your confidence, put you in a sad and depressed state of mind. Have your head droop down, have you feeling like you're about to die, or you could actually die because of the sadness and the sorrows that your woman gives you. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees. That's why a lot of men are weak today, because they got a woman breaking their asses down, man, sucking them dry like a spider in a spider web. Sirach chapter 12, also known as Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12 and verse 18. He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change. Let's go back to 17. So this is speaking of Esau, but this can apply to women too. If adversity come upon thee, like you coming up short on the rent, you might have just lost your job, right? You might have injured yourself. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. So here it is. A woman, she might act like she's helping you. She might say, don't worry, baby, I'll cover the bills this month. But you know what she's doing behind your back? This broke ass nigga, he done made me pay the bills. This fucking nigga's supposed to have the money, da-da-da-da-da, right? This is what women do. This is how they talk. This is not far out. This is not far-fetched. This is what they do. Pretend like they support you. They're behind your back going to your mom. What's up with your broke ass son? He needs to get it together. He didn't have enough money for the bills this month. Such and such. I've been wanting to go out. He hasn't took me out in years, right? But in his face, you act like you down. You act like you with him, but you undermine him behind his back instead of being a help unto him. And you don't know who someone really is until you're going through adversity, all right? If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend, or though she pretend to help thee, yet shall she undermine thee. She will shake her head and clap her hands and whisper much and change her countenance. So that can apply to you women. You're two-faced. You act like you're supporting your man, but you're breaking him down behind his back. You're speaking ill about him. His enemies hear about his shortcomings. Okay? You're leaving a breach open in your marriage due to your fakeness. Because a lot of women today, they're down with the devil. Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 5 and 15. For some are already turned aside after Satan. So most women are down with the devil. That's why most women, they don't want to be submissive. Most women want to do things their own way. They don't know how to be quiet. They don't know how to be a woman. But then when a man tells them how to be a woman according to the Bible, they got a problem. They got an issue. And they're going to get their issue. Okay? For some are already turned aside after Satan. So let's face it. Most of these women are down with Satan. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which will not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter. Because most of these women have already turned aside after Satan. And so much, they hate their family. They hate their husband. They hate their sons. They hate their daughters. They hate themselves. Okay? Back then, a woman was so delicate, she wouldn't set her feet on the ground. Now a woman will square up with a man barefoot on the ground where the bottom of the soles of her feet are black. Okay? This is a real thing because of the curses. But nevertheless, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is sending warning to you women. That's why we're in World War III right now. This society will collapse. What you see right now, it will come to an end. All your comforts, all these things will be removed from you. Okay? Let's go to Job 39. Job 39 and 16. She is hardened against her young ones, as though they were not hers. Her labor is in vain without fear. So without fear, you women are doing everything in vain. You don't fear the Lord. You live a very careless lifestyle for the majority of you women. Because the power had deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted to her understanding. So most women don't have the spirit of Abigail. Abigail was a woman of understanding. Abigail was a humble woman. Okay, she had some sense about herself. But that's unlike most of you women today. Okay? Most of you today, that's just not who you are. A lot of you women pretend, and that's all it is, pretending. Because the power, Job 39 and 17, because the power hath deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted to her understanding. That's why most women, they can never understand why a man should have multiple women. Why a man should be the leader. Why the man has to be given the authority. They just don't understand because they're down with Satan. Isaiah 49 and 15. Can a woman forget her suckling child, that she should not have compassion on the son of her womb? Yea, they may forget, yet will I not forget thee. So if a woman is capable of forgetting her own children, you know for damn sure she's capable of forgetting her husband. She's capable of forgetting the ways of the Most High. She's capable of being a flat-out demon. Because again, most of these women have already turned aside unto Satan. How much more in 2024? And see, we're at the end. We're at the very end right now. But Satan has done a very good job blinding the minds of these women. That's why most women, they're not going to make it. They're just not. Because these women have a problem with this word. Can a woman forget her suckling child, that she should not have compassion on the son of her womb? Yea, they may forget, yet will I not forget thee. So instead of putting your faith in a woman who could not only forget her own child, she'll forsake her own husband, put your faith in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai to you men out there. Because these women, they can be very wicked. They can be very evil. But there are righteous women out there. And we have to remember that. We have to remember there are elect ladies out here, seeing that most women today, they're not in their right mind. These women got, body counts that have put so many demons on them. There's really no turning back, lest they be of the elect. There's just no other way. Okay? Galatians chapter 4 and 16. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? And women hate the truth because the truth, it comes with accountability. And a lot of women, that is their kryptonite. That is a poison unto a lot of women, is taking accountability, taking responsibility of your own actions. Okay? Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? So the women of the elect ladies, they're about this truth. They're not going to be offended by the truth. But you women who oppose this, that shows that you're down with Satan. And if you're down with Satan, you're not going to make it. You're going to be destroyed. That's the message. We're not out here to be pushovers with you women because you got a pretty face and you look good to the eye. All right, the message of the Lord is you're going to repent or you will be destroyed in various ways. There's a list of things I can go into, but it's too dark for YouTube. All right? Second Timothy chapter 3 and verse 5. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women. So there's a lot of silly women or foolish women, laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts. If a woman hears a camp teaching a man can only have one wife, due to her lust, she'll follow that camp. If a woman hears a camp constantly uplifting the woman, basically giving women liberty to have authority based off of their lust, that's what they'll follow. But this isn't about following things based off of what feels good and what doesn't feel good, but based off of truth, the truth of what the scriptures say. Okay? Ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. So a lot of women, they're always learning things, but they can never come to the truth because most women, they're not of the elect. A very small portion of women are going to be saved. Romans 11 and 7. What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he or she seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. So the majority of women are blind. The majority of women are not going to receive this truth. No matter how much you may try to hammer this truth inside of certain people, if it's not for them, it's just not for them. Women have all these different books that they'll read. They'll have all these different influencers putting things in their mind. But when it comes to this truth, they just can't receive it. Okay? That's why the women who get saved, you definitely have to be special. You definitely have to be a special woman, a special lady. Let's go back to the beginning where I read in 2 John. Because most women are not going to come to the truth, but the elect lady will have this truth. 2 John 1 and 1. The elder unto the elect lady and her children, whom I love in the truth, and not I only, but also all they that have known the truth. So the elect women, they know this truth. They know the role of a woman. They don't need to know all the breakdowns and all the deep mysteries of the scriptures. All you women need to know is how to please your husband. Okay, cover your head when you pray if you believe. Okay, I mean, it's very simple. Just be a woman. And for a lot of you, when I say that, you might think, well, what does that mean? What is being a woman? And that's how sad it is. That's how broken our people have become, that a lot of our men don't even understand what it is to be a man. And a lot of women don't understand what it is to be a woman. John chapter 14 and verse 17. Even the spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive. So why can't most of these women receive this truth? Because they are of the world. These women of today, for the most part, they are of the world. They are of the world so much, the spirit of truth don't want nothing to do with them. That's why you can't have that's why you can't have another wife, because your woman is blocked. That's why she has a problem hearing you talk about how a man is supposed to have authority over his woman, because she is blocked, man. All right? Even the spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it seeth him not, neither knoweth him, but ye know him, for he dwelleth with you and shall be in you. So truth is a spirit. And most of these women, they can't receive it because they're of the world. 1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 6. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. So a lot of women are living voluptuously. They're living in pleasure because they're of this world. And the spirit of truth is not able to enter into these women, man. Most of these women lack understanding. They don't have the spirit of Abigail. They got the spirit of what the hell. They got the spirit of, rebelliousness. Okay? And the Lord is not going to deal with none of you women who are not going to humble down and submit and be a woman. Period. So if you live in pleasure, you're dead while you live. Ephesians chapter 5 and 14. Wherefore he saith, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Mashiach shall give thee light. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. So you women need to wake out of your dead state. Because if you're living in pleasure, you're dead while you live. Okay? If you're living in pleasure, you're dead while you live. If you're living in pleasure, that means you're of the world, and this truth is not able to be received by you. That's why a lot of women have a problem with the truth. They have a problem with real men. You've become an enemy to masculinity. Philippians chapter 3. Philippians chapter 3 and verse 2. Beware of dogs, beware of evil workers, beware of the concision. So beware of dogs, okay? Beware of females who come off as dogs. And typically, if you don't serve Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, what does that mean for a woman? If you're not being submissive, you're not being delicate, you're not being humble, okay, you're not pleasing your husband, you're not being a mother to your children, the Lord's not dealing with you. You're a dog. All right? Revelations chapter 22 in verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without are dogs and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and adulterers, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. So if you don't keep the ways of the Lord. If you women don't want to do what you're supposed to do, you're a dog. And if you're mad at that, oh well. You got to take it up with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Because a shameless woman or a headstrong woman shall be counted as a dog or a bitch. And a lot of you women don't have a clue of what it means to be a woman. Hell, a lot of women don't even know what it means to bathe properly as a woman. Okay? For without are dogs and sorcerers. So a lot of you women are sorcerers. You're into sex magic. You're into all sorts of rituals. You have a lot of women, they don't want men approaching them because secretly they're in the closet. A lot of women be trying to shame men for being effeminate, shame men for, looking like a sodomite while they themselves are in the closet. Okay? Snacking on other women. And whoremongers and murderers and idolaters and whosoever loveth and maketh the lie. And you women don't have this truth. For the majority of you women who don't have this truth, that's because you love a lie. That's because you're a sorcerer. You're a dog. You're no good. All right? But there are decent women out there. 2 Ezra 16 and 48. The more will I be angry with them for their sin, saith the Lord. Like as a whore envieth a right, honest, and virtuous woman, so shall righteousness hate iniquity. So it says here that a whore is jealous of a righteous woman. So you women who are doing the right thing, don't let these no good scum buckets, these scallywags, these batch of bitches deceive you out of your position. Keep walking according to what the scriptures say. Because wicked women, they envy you. When they see you being submissive to your man and they speak ill, it's because they're envious of you. When they see you cooking and cleaning and then they say, I couldn't do that for no man, girl, you shouldn't be doing that. It's because they're envious of you. If a woman tells you, oh, girl, I couldn't be settling down for no man who's struggling and this and that and this and that, but nevertheless, you've been in this relationship for years, it's because she's jealous of you. These wicked women envy righteous women. These wicked women envy the daughters of Sarah, who called Abraham Lord. Did she not? First Peter chapter 3 and 6. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are, as long as you do well and are not afraid with any amazement. So as long as, you do well, you not be afraid to be a woman, do what's right in the sight of the Lord, there's no reason why the Lord won't show favor upon you. Not all women are equal. Not all men are equal. Seeing that today's society comes off that there are no women that are worthy, which none of us are worthy, but society makes it seem like all these women have just transformed into hoes. When in reality, it's just that the whores are in the forefront and the actual women, they're in the background. But it comes to a point where you women who claim to be decent or who have a sense of decency of yourself, what are you saying about it? What are you doing about it? Because there are women who are living, decently, but they're not complaining about the wickedness of these women. Okay? Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are, as long as you do well, and are not afraid with amazement. So Sarah wasn't afraid to obey her husband and acknowledge him as Lord. But you women today, you have a problem obeying your husband. You have a problem being a woman. You're out of order. If you're not trying to be what you were created to be, you are out of order. You are a waste. If you yourself, you create a vessel, and this vessel is supposed to hold liquid, but the bottom of the vessel has a huge breach or a huge hole in it, what good is it to you? It's really useless. If you go to a vending machine and you want a Snickers bar, you put your money in the vending machine and it doesn't give you anything because it gets stuck. Well, it didn't do what it's supposed to do. That's out of order. You women not being submissive, not wanting to be feminine and delicate, that's out of order. So to you women who are doing these things to the best of your ability, you feel good doing the right thing, keep doing the right thing. And don't let these women trick you out of your position, because social media has totally destroyed the world. All right? So I'm going to go on ahead and wrap this up there. Lord willing, this was simple and edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So Lord willing, until next time, I got to give all thanks and praises unto our power, the power of Israel, not the power of any other nation. And what is his name? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Ba'ashem Warakwadash. Hey, until next time, Lord willing, stay tuned. I'm out.